You ready?
All right, let's kick it off. I'm super pumped. I got my endorphins flying high. You left, you came back. The over under for you being in Utah was 14.5 days. You came back in a stunning 7. We're happy to have you here.
Feels good to be back. Feels good to be back. I'm pretty sure I was saying it would probably be a week. I knew going in we wouldn't last too long. Steve, relax. Oh my God, what is it? So weird. What is it, buddy? So needy.
We were gone for a while.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be a quick one because we really sent it. We sent it this time though. We had a fucking blast this time too.
Sure did.
And I didn't get arrested. So.
Sure did.
How would you describe this trip compared to the first one?
Yeah, I mean, we just had probably it was out of all the houses I stayed at, this was my favorite house.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it's interesting because like in this area, Park City, it's all kind of like lodge ski. It's a ski community, so it's all like ski lodge vibe, which is really dope.
Mm-hmm.
But this first house we stayed at on this trip we stayed at it was a crib that was like right near it, crazy view, but it was modern, and it was just like, yeah, it was like an LA crib in the fucking Utah mountains, So we had a blast.
I saw an Instagram story of you guys just sitting in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
what was going on there?
That was on Main Street last night in Park City. It was just, we ate at this dope restaurant. We were like the last people there, and when we left, the whole street was like deserted. But it literally looks like the Wild Wild West.
It was like closed off.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was closed off by 2 cars, so like no one is just straight walking on the street.
Yeah.
So we took advantage of it and we fell asleep on the road.
It feels like you're in like a
Ghost
like a
town?
Western movie, like an older like Western movie.
In Park City, Utah?
Yeah, on Main Street, which is like their main like tourist attraction, but it's just like so small town. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's super dope.
In about 17 years, we'll all be there for my film premiere.
Yeah, I think so too. Can't wait. I'll be there front row.
It's going to be a big one.
I'll probably be in it.
Yeah, at that point, you'll probably be in it. So who was there? Brian Lee was there. Charlie Handsome was Post around?
Yep. We actually really didn't link with Post on this one. He had for undisclosed reasons. But we just fucking honestly, man, I made like 2 or 3 cool ideas. One of them's like might be really dope. But man, we partied the whole time. Really, we hung out. I wouldn't say the whole time. Like our days, like we relax, and the nature out there is just like the vibe outside is just so nice. So it's just like you get a little bit of you get the vacation vibe, but then we also were really getting after it at nighttime too. Great great community out there. Great community, that's what I'll say. Just the locals are fucking awesome.
I saw someone send it to me. I don't know if it was just made public that Post is starting his own beer pong league.
Yeah.
Professional beer pong league.
Yeah, I mean, you've known this.
No, I know that, but we've never really touched on it.
Yeah. I the only thing is, I don't know if they announced it. I think
someone just sent me an article.
Yeah, I think TMZ just like got wind of it because it's been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
But it's not, I don't think it's us to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought it was just made.
Because I don't, pretty sure they didn't announce it formally yet,
The publication was,
TMZ.
Hot New Hip Hop.
Yeah, TMZ posted it too.
Are we still on the Utah subject?
Yeah, yeah. What do you got for me?
Well, we went to the lake.
Oh man, this was good.
We got on some canoes. And me and Versace went on one. I didn't know I was gonna go. First time ever going.
Now, a year ago, he would be tipping the canoe over.
Versace?
Yeah. Now he's made for the canoes.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But then
he really wanted to do it.
Before we went on it, I was like, who should go with who? It made sense. He's the heaviest, I'm the lightest, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike and Versace,
Mike
and Foley ended up on it. We started off like going real smooth, me and Versace, like we're way out there. We turn around and Mike and Foley are like struggling. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So we turned around and we caught up with them. Bro, their canoes like...
No, we made it out to where you guys were. And I was actually yelling to you guys. You guys couldn't hear me. But
you were so far away.
It would, dude, I'm on the ride. I never do this shit. Like I can't remember. Maybe I did when I was a kid. I don't remember. But I go to Foley. We're like 30 seconds into it. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? because he said he knew how to do it. Like, and I was like, what the hell are we doing wrong? Because this feels hard.
I wouldn't strike Foley's a canoe guy.
Oh, he was confident, and like I could just I already could feel this like uneasiness where I was like, it's not supposed to be hard. I'm looking at little kids go by, laughing. They're like 10 years old. They're having a fucking blast. They're like having just completely normal and crushing it and just So I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Were you guys paddling on opposing sides?
And I felt, I could just like with my abs, I'm like, dude, this isn't even a vibe. I came here to relax. Like I'm like fucking like balancing. So we're struggling, and like I'm noticing that like I thought it was just because maybe we were so bad at it that like some water was getting in. I'm noticing the water, and I'm like, yo, we're like fucking. I'm starting to get wet. Like there's a lot of water in the canoe. So we make our way out. We get out to where they are. They're oblivious. They're out like near an island, a little island off the cove. And when we get over there, we're already. Did we fall near you? Was it right near you, or
we were right next to you? And you're like,
no, we were a bit of ways, but I was like, yo, we're going down. I knew we were going down and Foley was like super rally. He looked back at me. He looked like he saw a ghost. He's like, dude, I don't know. Like, we fucking flip over.
Were you
in full clothes?
Were you sinking?
Yeah. So the whole time we're like, fuck. Me and Foley are rattled. We were wearing.
Bro, it was like the Titanic was going down. They were so rattled.
Post is in LA. Looks like we're gonna get active tonight.
Dude, I wish that it was filmed. I wish it was filmed. Like, it was the funniest thing ever.
I fall. What is he talking about? I fall. I'm pissed. They're laughing their ass off. Me and Foley are rattled. Foley's wearing like $1,500 sneakers. Like,
not a canoe guy.
Yeah, but dude. So then, so we fall. We get it. I'm like, dude, I don't know how the hell we're gonna get back in it. We struggle getting back in it. Then we're like, fuck it. I'm pissed. I'm like, I'm going back to the fucking thing where let's see if we can get back. I already knew I had like a low level of confidence that we would get back. I don't know why. It just was so hard. We get back in there. They're right near us, and they're like geeking, trying not to laugh, but we're mad.
Yeah, you're
and
like,
I'm like,
yo,
dude,
don't laugh.
I'm like, dude, we're going down again. We're going down again. And they're just like, you could tell they want to laugh, but they can't. Mm-hmm. Sure enough, we go down again. They end up having to come over. They come over, and like we had to like basically we held our canoes together. So there's 2 people in this canoe, 2 people in this canoe. They were holding it. I was canoeing. I was paddling with one arm on this side.
Bro, the paddles almost hit my head. It hit me a couple times.
So like, dude, it took us like 40 minutes to get back in, and like we had to like kind of like shimmy our way back.
Trying to envision this. Was there a defect in your boat?
So we get there. Yeah. So this is the story. So we get there, dude. Everyone's geeking at us. Like everyone's like, "What the fuck is wrong with these people?" Everyone else is crushing it. No one was having issues. So I'm just like, we're geeking. I'm like pissed, but I'm kind of starting to see the humor in it. I get back. We get back to shore. Like, I swim in. I'm in clothes. The girl goes, "Oh wow." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh, we have to retire this boat." Turns out there's a huge fucking. There's like a crack down the middle of the entire thing, like equally down the middle. So it was like the way it was supposed to, and it was plugged. So like,
you're just caught with a bad boat.
But dude, we got trolled. Like the chance of that happening. I'm telling you, the entire place was crawling with little kids in kayaks, like having a blast. And turns out we just had like a defective one. They're like, we have to retire it. But it ended up being like such a funny. It was like actually it made the whole thing. It made it so much more fun.
Foley was so rattled. I remember he's like paddling away.
He was.
And Versace was driving him, and he's like, "Versace, shut the fuck up."
I was like, "Don't laugh." And I'm pretty sure I yelled at you guys, said, "Don't laugh."
You said, "Don't laugh," and I was like, "Yeah, bro, I was losing."
I know you guys were geeking. I knew it was funny too, but I was like kind of pissed because I thought I was gonna be freezing. Like I was in clothes, and it ended up not being. Yeah, it ended up not being too uncomfortable at all. So it was funny, but yeah.
I could have called that none of you guys were canoe guys.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not a canoe guy. But then I went out and did it again. I hopped back in with Versace because Versace was rattled because he made me do it, and then I was like, I hate this. So he's like, let's go out.
He didn't want you to have a bad experience.
Yeah, so I went out and then I got it, and it was like as soon as I got in that kayak, I was like, oh, this is cool, you know, like
yeah.
The other one was like a workout.
Well, I would have figured it was because you're like 195 from the waist up. So you're just too top heavy to even swim a canoe.
I might be. I'm not a great water
that
sports.
thing's just fucking like wobbling.
I'm not a water guy. Like I'm a huge water guy, but I don't think I'm meant to be like experimenting in the water.
Yeah.
Dude, what about? Can we talk about when we were in Malibu? And that guy's like doing that hover shit across the whole beach.
Mm-hmm. was
looked
fire.
like the biggest vibe ever. And his dog is just on the beach following him.
Is
the
that
whole
like
time.
that jetpack
see
that
that
you can
thing?
do in water?
Yeah.
I've seen those all over the internet.
Flying around in the water, and it looks insane.
Bro, he's going out through the whole coast almost.
Yeah, and I talked to him after. He's like, "Yep, it's a whole new universe out there, whole different planet."
I want to be
he's
friends.
just-
I want to be friends with that guy.
He's flying on the water. He's like literally flying like a fucking superhero.
Yeah, it's like Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Iron Man's jetpack.
That guy's on a vibe for sure.
Big vibe.
Big time vibes. I'm kind of inherently a canoe guy because I was forced to be in the Boy Scouts as a young child.
Yeah.
And definitely wasn't my choice. But of all the things I learned during it was to definitely use a canoe and to shoot guns and to get touched by my troop leaders.
that's probably a touchy joke.
Whenever
Quite literally.
I watch South Park at night and like the commercials in between the show, it's like an attorney's office. They're like, "Have you ever been touched in the Boy Scouts?" I'm like, "No."
That explains a lot.
It does.
Wow.
Boston was a tough place, especially with like all the whole like priest thing going on for a
Yeah.
while, and then God, that movie Spotlight. Someone was talking to me about it recently.
Yeah, I didn't watch it because it's not my vibe, but I heard it was great.
Yeah, it won Best Picture. It's definitely worth watching, but not a good vibe at all. I wanted to switch topics to a tweet that you fired out not too long ago, about 4 days ago. It kind of applies to what I wanted to talk about today.
Yep.
You said, "It's not too late. Whatever you want to do, it's not too late. That's a man-made illusion. If you're alive, there's time to do, be, and see whatever you want."
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Yeah.
And you believe in that?
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Well, you're
Yeah,
a testament to that.
Yeah,
being true.
I don't know what I actually think I was kind of. I think we're in like kind of talking about some of my stuff, and it like made me think of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I mean it kind of ties into what we were talking about at the restaurant just before this too. Just like this time thing where you like all the, we were talking at dinner like how like women, there's societal pressures like when you get, obviously there's a certain time where you're not capable of having a kid as a woman, but like you start looking around and you're like, oh, I'm 30 and I don't have, I'm not settled with kids, and like it's getting late, and this internal clock of like, it's actually an external clock of my point is this, it's just like if you're here, nothing else matters. Like nothing else matters besides doing what you're supposed to be doing and like finding that.
Yep.
And it just doesn't matter, man. Like we were talking about like, getting married early and like never leaving your hometown and like, look, like whatever feels right. Like there's some people that feels right and they do that. But I think there's also a huge reason why marriage is failing as a general concept. You know what I mean? Because I think it's a bit outdated when generationally it's shifted, and it's just like, dude, it breeds like unhappiness or like bitterness when you feel like, oh man, I didn't even get to do what I wanted to do because I got this fucking relationship. You know what I mean? And this kid, and then she got pregnant, and then we had to get a job locally, and like, it's just like, dude, what I'm saying is for everybody, it's case by case, and there's some people that's exactly what was supposed to be, but I think you have to be able to like grow into who you need to be. You were talking about it too with like just like I'm just now figuring out who I'm supposed to be. You said that at lunch earlier, like you just feel like you're starting to figure out like the type of human you are and who you're supposed to be. And yeah, you evolve and everyone's going to change, but change is living. Like if you're constantly evolving and open to change, like that's how you really never get stale. And you talk to these older people, some of them like, yo, Larry King was just like, dude, I feel so young in my mind because he kept going and he kept fucking doing what he wanted to do. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's just kind of like a human evolution thing where it's like we're evolving as a species, and like I think shifts happen. And I think we're in the middle of a cultural shift where like most people are realizing like, wait, is it really the purpose to have to marry? Steve, no. Cut it out. Is it really the purpose to have a kid? Like, is that my sole purpose? Is it really like, am I really supposed to marry my high school sweetheart because, like this is all I know, in my hometown? It's just, those are questions that I think people should challenge or at least see through and learn to see through and like actually trying to lean into change and take risk, because I think that's where like it breeds excitement, it breeds growth, it breeds success, it breeds happiness. And I think all of those things are related, you know? But what I was talking about specifically is just like, you don't have to forget the external clock of like what society says you should be doing at what age. Fuck that. That shit is whack. And like people who live by that, I think as in a majority, like I think they miss out on a lot of things. You know what I mean? I really truly believe that. And I say that just because I came from that. You know what I mean? I came from that. And like, you know, my life just aligned in this way where I never really like, I knew right away that was never going to be me, you know, and it just never felt right. And I think, you know, again, it's not a blanket statement. What I'm saying is if you have that itch and you have that feeling, like, don't wait around, man. It's never your time. The perfect time is never going to come. And you're going to end up like really feeling like you missed out, like true FOMO, true regret when you get older and you realize you didn't take the risks that you should have taken, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think what it comes down to is like, and a lot of people don't realize it, but the very definition of being alive and feeling alive is having purpose, right?
Right.
And for some people, it's harder to find out what your purpose is, and some people don't even get to that question of they don't even get to like, you know, what is my purpose? Some people don't even get to that question.
Like the purpose thing though, it's a fine line because like
that.
Purpose
it
just
really
being,
is like
yeah.
purpose. A lot of times people take that and they just add it to the mix of things that stress them out. What's my purpose? Like, oh my God, I'm not fucking saving the world or like making $1 zillion. Like, what if your purpose was to like just, you know, what I'm saying is there's a purpose in just being in your right place. There's a purpose in like
I define purpose of just waking up happy every day.
Exactly.
That's it. You know what I mean?
having
Whatever.
And what is that?
Whatever
you know?
that day is, it's just waking up happy doing that.
Totally.
So-
totally. And you know what? Look, what I'm saying is, yeah, that's exactly my point. Purpose for sure. It's all about happiness.
Yeah.
And the main thing is like it's not tied to like it's not there's stress added to it. It's tied to expectation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of fits into that societal thing I was just talking about. Like that's an illusion. Like it's an illusion, that pressure of like what am I supposed to be doing? Everyone's fucking living their own life. Everyone has so much shit going on in their own head. No one's worried about what you're doing, man. Like get out of your own way and just fucking do shit and have fun. Like if you're happy and you are waking up the way you said it was perfect. Totally agree. If you're waking up and you feel good, really, what the hell else is there? Like,
I don't think there's like I don't think a mailman, like he was born to be a mailman. Like that's his purpose. I think if it makes him happy, then it's his purpose.
No, but like
you know what I mean?
it's not even what I'm saying is it's not even tied to an occupation.
Exactly.
It's
like
not.
he might be an amazing father. He might have saved somebody's life. He might have, you know what I mean? He might have, who knows? He might have, like there's a million things that you could do. It's not occupationally, but like most people in society kind of feel that way. Like, oh, I'm supposed to be this. Like, what if you're just an amazing person? And a lot of people, all the people around you love you and care about you and feel like you're a good friend. And, you know, dude, the purpose of life is to experience, man.
And learn from
That's
your
it.
experiences. Yeah.
Go experience. Go experience.
That's true wealth is experience.
It's everything, man. And that's where you'll find these answers. It's where I found most of these answers. It's just like, and I have way more answers to be found, you know, but we were saying, I want to get that tatted. Go for a ride. Like,
Go fall off a canoe.
yeah, go for a ride. Like, go take a chance. Like, leave your hometown if you feel like you should, even if it's scary. Like, go for a ride and see where it takes you. And, dude, even if it doesn't make you $1, and like, there's you might meet the person you were supposed to meet out there. You might, you know, like you might just stumble into this bar or stumble into this conversation and learn about some shit that you were meant to be here to learn about. And, you know, like you just don't know what the possibilities are.
Yeah. I mean, we're habitual creatures. I think the main thing is people are afraid of uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's what holds you back from anything. So it's really just stop being a pussy. And if you're not happy with your current situation, then drastically do something to change it, even if you don't know where it's going to lead you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, dude, I had a thought. I tweeted it one time. It was a quote from somebody else, and it connected me. It was like, we fear and reject change, but it's the only thing that's guaranteed in our lives.
That was the thing you made me watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I fucked with it. It was dope.
Yeah. That's the only thing. We're literally like, it's not our fault because it's part of our evolution and our DNA to like be worried. The comfort zone, the reason it's called the comfort zone is because it's comfortable and like your immune system can relax, and you can be like, okay, this is my routine. I'm relaxed here. I can survive here. But like that's just not where you're not stimulating. You're not. It's just one of those things where I feel like it doesn't really breed. It doesn't really breed like you being happy at the end of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whenever your end of it may be, it could be next. You don't know. You know, but ask yourself that. You know, like, am I at least going after the shit on my plate, my best options, like for whoever I am and whatever my skill set is, am I going after it? You know, it's a really difficult thing to do, and you know, it's very challenging, and it feels like for a lot of people, like the biggest thing is just feeling like, yo, I need to survive. You know, like this is all fine and dandy, but like, bro, I need to survive. I have to feed my kid. I have to feed myself.
Dude,
I
got fucking checked hard last night. I think it was last night. Like I'm, you know, obviously like reaching out to people to like help with like my movie and stuff next year. And like, I'm like one guy like hit me back. He's like, hey man, like you think you could throw me some money for some groceries for my family? And I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was just asking him for a favor for something. And he's like, hey man, like, I hate to ask this, but like, do you think you could throw me a little money or just for some groceries, just for me and my family? And I was like immediately, I was like,
yeah,
like shit like that just immediately like brings you fucking
back to center,
back to fucking earth, and you're like, I mean, that's just perspective, but like,
totally, you're stressing about raising money. You know,
yeah,
this,
man,
you know this process.
It's
It's not a fun process.
Yeah,
you get all wrapped up in that bubble, and then you realize like this dude's trying to figure out how to feed his family.
Yeah, that's why you just have to see the positive in everything, man. You have to.
Got to.
I mean, I was fucked up, but even like this whole like coronavirus bullshit this year, like I even see that. I mean, not a positive in general, but like for me, I see it as a positive just because it got me out of a comfort zone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It got me to live my life in a completely different way.
That's cool.
And it, you know,
Absolutely.
hopefully for the better.
It also makes you not take anything for granted
Yeah.
because you know it could go any fucking day.
Yeah, you know,
Coronavirus. I mean,
Yeah, like
yeah.
nothing's for certain.
It's just
you know what I mean?
it shows you how fast shit can change.
Now, like you got to worry about having your mask on deck everywhere you go. You know what I mean? That was never a thing.
Well, Mike, you were saying that like we were. I mean, in modern day, we were just used to living at such like a high level of like freedom and being able to do things. And
yeah, you made a good point. You go, hey, and I go, it's crazy the way we're living. Like we have to be, you know, the way life has gone and like the new norm. And you were like, you know, we basically were talking about just like how like in a drop of a dime, like we lose our liberty, freedom. Like, okay, got to be in the house, you know, and like, you were like, well, at least Kilmer basically was like, well, when my dad was growing up, they'd come by and you know, take the pots and the pans from your house because they used it. Would they use it for ammo?
No, they use it to melt it down. They melted down all the metals just to use in general for the war.
For war, okay, yeah. And like, that's crazy, right? That's a crazy like.
He was like a toddler, by the way. He's not like 1,000 years old, but he is old.
Yeah.
But this was like the 40s.
So that's the 40s, and my rebuttal to that was like, look at the difference is the way we were operating before coronavirus, the amount of evolution we were experiencing.
We were fucking rocking, baby.
And just the freedoms we had as people, especially in America, and just like the liberties that everyone would take for granted. But like we were rocking at such a high level, like the things that we're experiencing the most any human race ever had, as far as just like, you know, overall, right? Across the landscape of our reality. Then we go to, hey, you guys can't fucking be outside after 9 p.m. or whatever. Yeah. And like, that's a crazy shock to the system. Mentally fucks people up a lot. Where in the 40s, you know, what were their liberties exactly then? You know, like
they didn't even have Dave and Buster's.
Exactly. Yeah. They didn't have Dave and Buster's.
What do people do on the weekends?
Did they even have alcohol? When was alcohol?
Honolulu, big Dave and Buster's.
They had alcohol.
When was alcohol? Like 18? Like,
you're saying when was Prohibition? Those 20s, the roaring 20s.
That's probably, that's probably a vibe though, because they had you know what I mean? It was like underground, like clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have been like a nice little like jazz trio back then, and we would have been rocking in those clubs. So we would have been thriving then. Kind of like we did with like the beer pong tournament, the Bellina Cup this time around. We would have thrived back then as well.
Yeah. But like, you know, just the drastic change that this brought and how quickly. It's a fucking wake up call, man. I hope everyone takes it that way. You know, and again, it kicked a lot of people's ass.
Yeah.
But so what? Like when we get those liberties back, you don't even know how long we'll have them back for. So just like, I know I've leaned into experience so much more than like worrying about like what I needed to do this week and feeling bad about myself. Like if I have an opportunity to go somewhere and I feel that need, I just go do it. I'm privileged to be able to do that, but you could scale it down to anything. I'm gonna go fucking to the beach and walk, you know, tonight, and instead of like doing my normal routine and getting in bed at 9, like go down with my wife and do just things that you just go experience and do new things that like might make you feel a little better and might connect you to some new things. I got super connected to like nature, sunsets and sunrises and shit this year mainly from the coronavirus. Seriously. I'm fucking fascinated with it now. Like if I'm tired and I know the sun's coming up, I'll like wait like an hour or 45 minutes and just like watch it, you know?
It's good for the minds.
It's good for the soul.
Yeah. And
Walks, man. Walks are huge.
a lot of people have had that opportunity too, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
everyone's schedule has been different. Work schedule has been different.
Yeah.
Anyone could have discovered that.
Isn't the divorce rate like through the roof right
Yeah.
now? Highest
Oh, yeah.
it's ever been?
I mean,
I could have called that.
Yeah, man. Look, even the idea of monogamy, truly, the idea of monogamy, I don't know if the human race continues on for 100 years. I don't even know if it exists in 50 years from now. I really don't. Like, at least in 100 years, I don't know. Because what I'm saying is, like, look at how things were changing and how fast we were, and like the norms from our parents to how the norm is now.
yeah.
And like just evolution of like having so much at our fingertips and having so much connectivity to every soul in the world. Like
That's what I'm saying.
you can go anywhere and experience anywhere and be anything you want now.
That's what I'm saying. Like social media plays a big
And
part.
yeah,
of that.
Even
Like,
just like the worldly commerce though. Like, well, even when we're talking about like you can make money, you know, in your room and go like you can make money remotely now. Like back in the day, our parents were like, yo, I need a job locally and I'll drive there and I'll drive home. Now you can make money, bro. You could be living in Bali for 6 months and working on your computer. And it's just like, dude, the liberties we have and the freedom and for experience.
it kind of makes sense though.
And I love love and the idea of a relationship and being in love. Like I'm not
Matthew
even
McConaughey line.
I love love.
Failure to launch.
love-
Great
All right.
love.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
no, I
whoa.
really do. And
I don't
I
hate
actually
love.
believe in it. My parents
I love love.
Yeah. My parents are like,
Great
you know, there's tons of great examples. I'm just saying like I'm interested to see where that trend goes, and I think the numbers are telling you that it's gonna be obsolete at some point.
I mean,
definitely harder now.
It's accessibility, man. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know, before the internet, like it's like what you meet like 1 or 2 dope chicks a month, like top maybe every couple months, and
Yeah.
then and now it's
club.
like you can meet like 10 in a day.
Bro, scratch that though. Because most people are living stationary in the same places. They know all these fuckers.
Oh, I
Like
know.
we were just talking about our boys, like, you know, like
But still, even with that said, like dating apps, for example, like
Right.
you just fucking flip on there, and it's like people who just want to meet other people,
it's amazing. So
and
like,
you,
what,
could,
but
you know
like,
what I mean? It's like you
oh
didn't
my
have that
God,
option.
grandma and grandpa, like you see the girls like, this is the love I want, a settle for nothing less on Instagram. And it's like this 80-year-old guy walking down, and I fucking love it. It actually moves me too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Granny and Grandpa, they didn't have fucking options.
Granny,
Granny didn't have Tinder.
Granny didn't have fucking options and sticks. She didn't have a stick she could go hop on across state line somewhere and just go have fun with her friends. You know what I mean? Like all that it needs to be taken into account. Like it needs
Granny
to be.
wasn't getting dick down on Tinder benders every other
Yeah,
weekend.
like nowadays, a girl turns the fuck up when she catches her man cheating. They break up. You know what I mean? Back in the day, they were like, "Oh my God, this is the only one I love. Like the only men I know are these men right here." And like,
Yeah.
It's different.
so
Internet changed the game.
it's just different, bro. Internet is like a huge part of our evolution. They're gonna look
Yeah.
at the evolution of the human.
Yep.
Because we're gonna merge with it at some point if we live that long. If
Yeah.
people live that long.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be, you know, it's
And then
a huge
and
part.
then
history.
wait till fucking like virtual reality and fake simulations, and then you're gonna start falling in love with shit that's not even real.
Not even real.
Then you're really not gonna have monogamy.
And you're gonna be in your room, fucking a fleshlight, saying "I love you" to this robot who you've made a connection with.
That's my least favorite Black Mirror episode.
Right, but like I'm just
Remember that one?
Yeah.
The one where he starts fucking his homeboy,
Yeah,
like virtually.
in the video game.
Oh my god, that shit's fucked up.
But that's just Black Mirror is like calling a lot of this shit.
Yeah, man, but that shit's gonna be real life, like
Yeah.
pretty soon.
Like there's gonna be dudes who have the best life living in their room, the love of their life somewhere, who's really just a visual, like the visual representation of them is not real. You know?
I think touch, man, is
Yeah, I was
huge.
gonna say, like, I don't care how far it evolves. Skin on skin, man. You can't.
That's because we fuck though.
Skin on skin,
It's not
baby.
hard for us to fuck.
Skin
What
on
I'm saying
skin.
is, you know how many people are
I
so
know.
intimidated with being around a woman? Like,
I know.
And they never get the
Mr.
chance,
Steve?
and they never,
I know.
bro. Like, you know how many guys like you never just see all these pretty girls on the internet, and they're just like, one, I've never even been around a girl that looks like that, and two, I don't even want to because I'd be fucking terrified. I'd be terrified.
Sorry.
I'd be terrified, and I wouldn't know what to do, and I
I'm
would
sorry, Steve.
embarrass
I'm
myself.
sorry.
Don't judge a girl by her Instagram. A wise man once told me that.
Hey, don't plagiarize it, Steve.
I mean, they still look. Still look good though.
We'll be right back with You Never Know, You Know What I Mean, right after this urination break.
Support for the YNK podcast comes from Lord Jones, makers of the world's finest CBD products. CBD is all the rage these days, but pioneering brand Lord Jones is considered the gold standard. For years, they've been changing people's lives with the premium CBD products. Lord Jones has long been a favorite among celebrities worldwide, showing up in the Instagram feeds for Hollywood's biggest names. And now, they're inviting you to experience the finest CBD products available. From world-class skincare to tinctures and gel capsules to decadent gumdrop confections. If you're curious about what CBD can do for you, trust me, you want to start with the best. Lord Jones is crafted with the highest quality ingredients in premium hemp-derived CBD that's lab-tested for purity, strength, and consistency. So you can go to lordjones.com/YNK to get 25% off your first order. That is lordjones.com/YNK to get 25% off your first order. lordjones.com/YNK. I started reading a new Malcolm Gladwell book, and I wouldn't suggest it because it's a little boring.
Which one?
It's called Blink.
Okay.
It's about making snap judgments.
I almost
and
hit
the- and
the
the
fucking truck.
and the pros and cons of like why we make snap decisions. And it's actually kind of a boring book, but one part that was actually relatable was when they talked about, they did a case study on speed dating.
Listen.
And obviously in speed dating, you have to make a lot of snap decisions like
Right,
quick,
right.
and like they're important ones. It's
Right.
like, meeting another girl or like meeting like
Absolutely.
20 girls and
It's
like
so important.
like which ones you whatever, it doesn't matter. And part of the case study in like this company, this speed dating company, is this is going to put a lot of people at ease. This is going to help a lot of people. This is going to put a lot of people at ease
We're not laughing at you.
because a lot of guys get frustrated with the opposite sex. Like you were just saying, a lot of people aren't
Right.
used to the Stud Summer Tour 2014. You know,
Yeah.
It's different.
Where kills is easy as pressing a button.
Oh man.
Like a video game. I got more kills than COD on that.
it's not pressing a button; it's just existing.
Just be in there and have enough energy to go through with it.
having a pulse. You don't even need a pulse.
Focus.
I don't know if I need a pulse.
You need a lot of focus.
A lot of guys get frustrated because with the ladies, and I understand. So in this book, they talk about the speed dating, this speed dating company. They like after the speed dating, they send out like this questionnaire to the women and to everyone about like just so they can like further help them down the line of like
Right.
what do you look for in a man, and they ask them like a bunch of questions about it and they'll answer. That's 2 weeks after the speed dating, and then 6 months later, they ask them the same exact questions.
Yep.
And they found mostly with women, the answers of what they're looking for in a man changes from 2 weeks after the speed dating to 6 months after the speed dating.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the moral of the story is that women don't even know what women want.
Of course.
It changes maybe daily.
I really think it's more about. I think it's kind of humans.
No one knows what they
Like,
want.
I do agree that men, and you could. I would make the argument that men
Yeah,
are probably a bit more. Like, I just know men because I'm a man, obviously, and when women, you would have a woman on, she could probably make great counter arguments to it, but I don't speak from that perspective. But I do. I would say that men know what they want a bit more, especially like, But like, I don't know because like I think about like what a man wants in a relationship and like why girls can't get on the same page.
What a man wants is what a man needs.
Yeah,
girls know what
but
they
like
want in a
guys,
relationship
but
more.
guys are just like assholes and like kind of, you know, like if you put a hot ass bitch next to a guy and like throw it at him, chances are like, all right, maybe 1-2 times they pass on it. Third time they're like, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean? We're like,
How many
what I'm
drinks-
saying is guys can play that card. Like we can see a high horse and be like, we know what we want. Like go, you know, like. But I really think it's more of a human thing where like, yes, I think that's pretty normal that like your expectations change and evolve with you as a person. But I think a lot of things like an element to that as well is girls, they want the stability, they want Mr. Right, but like there's also
no such thing.
there's a lot of them that you get bored with that. Like you have that for a bit, and then they want the guy that like barely shows them any love.
That's
And,
what I'm
like,
saying.
You know,
They'll go through certain situations where it'll make them change their mind.
but like, dude, they're in different moods. They're in
Yeah.
different phases of their lives.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know what I've wanted has changed a lot. You know what I'm saying? So like,
every day.
yeah, it changes all the time. It actually changes day to day and goes back to like it's a human element thing. I think we're like human. Like it is a confusing thing to be alive. It's confusing. Like, and you don't know every decision you make. Like you're driving the ship and you don't really know what the hell you're even driving, and you don't really know. So like it creates confusion, especially when things don't feel right. You go through bad things. You're like, what the hell am I doing? Which way am I supposed to go? So you know, I think. Was Malcolm Gladwell's book saying it was just the women?
They focus just on the women, yeah.
That was very sexist of Malcolm. I'll have to have a sit down with him.
I imagine it is to an extent universal between both genders, but in the book they focused on women and how and it made me think, I'm like, because when I was growing up and like at first I didn't really care what women wanted, even though that's, you know, growing up as a guy, I mean like any decision you make growing up is for what? To get ass. To get pussy.
It's crazy how much the man like
And for some guys that doesn't change.
yeah.
All your decisions are just based around like, I'm gonna do this to get more pussy.
Yeah.
And
it really is especially when you're teens.
and yeah, and when that starts like becoming very important, then you start to seek out. I'm like, what do these girls want? What do these girls want? And you start doing research.
Right.
And then like
some,
I started doing my due diligence. I actually lived with two girls right out of college in New
You
York.
look at it as research?
That's horseshit.
Yeah, it was research. And I started inquiring what girls want. And then I'm like, well, like it keeps changing. And then like I read this book and I'm like, oh, like women don't even know what women want. So it's not even use.
Let me tell you something.
It comes down to this though.
Girls just want to have fun, man.
It comes down to this. The moral of the story is that it doesn't matter what they want. It matters about who you are. And once you're comfortable in your own skin and you stop caring about what they want, then they're gonna fucking want you.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's all it is.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
That's when the fun begins, man.
Wow.
When you know what you want is when they want you.
A fucking men.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it doesn't. There's just an attraction to that. And I think that's
That's like the people say be confident, and that's such like a fucking like general fucking statement, but like that's the definition of it.
yeah, it
Is
is.
knowing what you want and being comfortable with what you want and just
And like if you can get comfortable with yourself, when you're really truly comfortable with yourself, everyone's comfortable with you.
yeah.
And the girls,
Then you put out that vibe,
whatever
baby.
you want will come to you because you know what you want. You're
putting out-
attracting what you want.
Putting out that vibe.
You know what I mean?
Like it's
Yeah.
kind of like not giving a fuck. No, is a great example of that. Mr. Steve Malone,
He's a posty.
just like he dresses however the fuck he wants, and he like you wouldn't wear half
He's
the shit he wore.
He's a perfect example of a
Yeah.
guy who knows what he wants and why that's why the universe
well,
has
he just does what he wants.
right, and it's natural. But dude, I'm sure he's a special dude. He's tapped into who he is, and like there's parts of him that he doesn't love. You know what I mean? Like he fights his own battles. But one thing you can never say is ever be around him in anything creative whatsoever, or even down to how he dresses. He just has such a vision for what, he does what he wants. He doesn't care what anyone thinks. He's tatted his whole fucking body.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't give a fuck. It looks reckless to people, but like, is it? It's his body.
He's doing whatever he wants.
It's not reckless to him. Like, it's who he is. He's very genuinely who he is. That's exactly what it is. He is genuinely himself, and there's ups and downs to that, but he's that guy. He owns that guy. You know what I mean? And it's really attractive. There's a reason everyone loves him. The reason he's so successful. There's a reason he makes the right songs and people connect with him because they can feel the authenticity through it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyone who's been around him would say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's that's the reason why I went full on mustache.
Yep.
Thanks for the compliments, by the way.
That's amazing.
I had to fish for compliments in this house.
That's not true.
The fish for him.
You look amazing.
I think I already complimented it.
I started doing the mustache because the second I did it, I'm like, what does this mustache say about me? And I'm like, well,
I'm here to party.
looking in a mirror, it says, this guy probably fucks,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy fucks well.
Mm-hmm.
And after I saw
this
that,
guy parties.
this guy parties. And after I saw that, I'm like, this is the vibe I'm giving off, and this is who I am now. Fuck it,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what anyone else thinks. That's the vibe I'm putting up.
When it comes down to getting women, it's literally all about that. Like, I've seen even just the standards of being attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I've been around I've been around these male models and TikTok or whoever.
Oh, bro, they suck.
All and I'm not generalizing. Some of them are saucy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've been around dudes who are just stereotypically very attractive guys.
Mm-hmm.
No sauce, right?
Yeah.
The girls, they will look at those guys. You know what I mean? They'll definitely look at those guys and they'll love them on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no replacement for having that being somebody that they feel comfortable around. There's no replacement for that. You'll attract them. They'll want to be around you, and you'll have that opportunity to connect with them if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the key for anyone who it starts the self-care shit and the shit we push on this is like all the things that guys want or girls, anybody, what the things you want, they start internal. You know what I mean? Once you get your shit in order, then the things you want become easier to attain. And like the women, I've seen girls especially are like men's kryptonite. Like I've seen really successful, talented, dope guys get super, like when women come into the picture, it kind of goes out the window. They get disheveled and like the normal feel they have is kind of off and like their decisions. I'm just like, really? But like I see it over and over. And it's probably the biggest thing, like most happiness for a lot of men on earth, like stem off like finding that right woman who's like attracted to them and they want to, it makes everything okay when you have somebody like that. So definitely all this shit we talk about now, like it applies to all the shit that you guys want. When you can get your shit in order and you get comfortable with yourself, and the things you want will just chase you.
You are what you attract. Yeah. What am I trying to say?
You attract what you
Your
think about.
your vibe
you know?
attracts your tribe.
So if you want
trying to
something,
say?
Yeah.
exactly.
And you catch yourself. You could check yourself and catch yourself like,
Slipping,
just like not in the right pocket or like caring too much or going at like, look, it's not like there's a fucking one way street of how you do it. It's just
multiple ways.
Everyone
has their own way.
Yeah, you have your. I'm saying generally the blanket of it is like if you're comfortable with yourself and you're proud, like you hold yourself in that way, and it will really you give off a comfortable energy. I'm telling you, I've said this before about sex, like especially random sex. It comes down to comfortability.
Yeah.
They trust you. They're like, I'm cool with getting naked with this guy and like seeing what happens. You know what I mean? Like I'm into this. Where think about that's intimacy at its finest, sex. It's at its highest level, more or less.
Yep.
When it comes down to just like opening yourself to somebody and just being naked with somebody.
You gotta make them laugh.
It's for sure.
You gotta make them laugh.
Whatever the avenue is, but if you're giving off a comfortable, it's really what it comes down to. And they might not. It's subconscious. They might not know why they're attracted to you, why they want to be around you. Yeah, but they do.
It is comfortability. That's why I talked about this like on episode like 7 of our podcast. Probably like we're like a year in, by the way. So I think that deserves a nice little round of applause. Just about a year. I think this is episode 56. It's a year.
Wow.
56 weeks. 52 weeks in a year. Right? It's 52 weeks in a year. But yeah, we're over a year. I'm
love it.
really proud of that.
We're only
Loved
just
it.
beginning, boys.
Love
We
to
have
see.
only just begun. But like earlier when we just started out, I remember I talked about my Bumble dates when, back when I was single and I used to just like run the game.
Yeah.
We first moved in this
Big
house.
Bumble guy.
We first moved in this house and I would every Bumble date I'd bring the girl to the same bar, and it wasn't like a flashy bar. They didn't even serve liquor, it was beer only. And there's a pool hall in the back.
Trash.
But no, this is the thing. Hear me out. I brought him to the same bar every time. I was doing like 2 or 3 a week, and I was bringing him to the same bar every time. The bartenders knew my name; they knew exactly what I was up to. But I bring him to the same bar every week because after a while, 10,000 hour rule applies. You just become so comfortable in that place, like that's your environment. It becomes your environment. And once you're in your zone, you're in your environment, and you bring a girl there, like she can feel that energy.
Absolutely.
So I'm just.
No, 1,000,000%.
I may have taken a little too far when I would just like say the exact same dialogue every single night. But,
1,000,000%. You're a sicko for that, but the notion is right.
and lie about being in the Blue Man Group,
Yeah.
which still works. It still works.
Yeah, so you actually weren't comfortable with yourself at all. You actually were living a lie, but it's fine.
I found that people in our line of work
That's funny.
tend to like be a little like braggy and like name dropping shit even when they don't try to. And like I just try to avoid that at all
It's
costs.
the worst.
I know. Dude,
It's
isn't
the worst.
it the worst when like people are over here, you never met them before, and you're like, oh, what's up? And like the first sentence out of their mouths are like who they worked with last week.
It happens.
You know what I
all the
mean?
time here.
It's like, oh
LA,
yeah,
man.
my boy is
LA,
just like I just
LA.
worked with blah blah. I have a record coming out. With, I'm like,
I get it because that's how things happen here.
Yeah.
So like, they're not wrong, but what they don't realize they're shooting themselves in the foot. To anyone who's really doing it, to anyone who really is dialed in and like plugged into situations at all and like understands it,
never speak your plan.
it comes off cheesy. Like,
I think
dude,
it
he just showed a clip of Thug talking about Gunna, and he was like, Gunna was around me hanging out in the studio vibing for 2 years before he knew he rapped. His feel was that good that he was in the studio with Young Thug for 2 years before he even revealed, and he didn't even tell him, like he just found out he raps.
Yeah.
That's a little extreme even, but like maybe it wasn't. It's probably perfect.
He's
It's-
crushing it now.
yeah, so it was perfect. But like,
Yeah.
that no one would do that. Any of the people in LA, everyone I've experienced here at this house who try to talk to me in any way, like they if they hang out for like an hour, they try to tell me, like 2 years of hanging out.
And then they'll play your records in the
When I
fucking
talk
studio.
about and like, dude, I get it. You have that like in your head where like, oh, I played him a song and he loved it, and they're not wrong. Dude, they're not wrong. If you played me some crazy shit,
I know,
I'd be like, whoa, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you what's more valuable.
I think
though.
it's the right place and right time.
There's a right
for
place, the
everything.
right time, and it goes back to our field conversation. Really tuning into the fucking situation, bro. Usually I'm on a wave. I'm not trying to go sit in the studio right now and listen to your fucking tapes. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't do that. I never did that.
Yeah.
Ever.
I know it sucks, and it happens a lot out here. But what it comes down to, and what people don't realize, that if you're genuinely just a good person, like people want to work with you. If you're a good person, if you're fucking cool to hang out with. Like if I'm a boss and I'm hiring something for a new position,
Absolutely.
I'd rather hire like a hardworking, less qualified person that's just a fucking like dope person than a very qualified like piece of shit, annoying piece of shit.
All right, so
You know what I mean?
this goes into that Rogan thing we were talking about a little bit about adult and learning.
Yeah.
And how kids, there's a neuroplasticity element to this whole thing where like kids have way less shit going on in their head. They're experiencing all new things all the time. They're learning. They're
They
sponges.
haven't been fully programmed yet.
Right. Actually, they're actually more like they have more plasticity in their brain,
Yes.
actually, scientifically, because the neurons are moving at a much quicker pace because there's more space.
Yep.
When you get older, you have all these programming we talk about all the time. Programming your habits, how you think, how you react, what you do when you wake up, what you do before you go to bed.
Yep.
And it's way harder. Your brain is has less
plasticity, and there less neurons being transmitted throughout your brain.
and so scientifically your brain is already up against way more.
Yep.
Which is why we talk about clearing space in your head and the importance of meditation. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'll never stop preaching it because I feel the difference. You know what I mean? And I've like, to your point, Versace is the fucking quickest learner I tell him one thing, he fucking does it. Because, and this dude broke it down. Everyone should go check out the Rogan. Who is it with? Who is the guest?
I'll find
We'll bring it up.
I'll
but,
take it in 2
but
seconds.
Rogan sat with this guy just recently, and he talked about this. And it's like, you as an adult, you can do things to make yourself a lot better at learning.
Andrew Huberman or Huberman?
Huberman,
And
yeah.
it was out like about 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
You have like, it takes an extreme amount of focus. It takes like channeling the adrenaline when you're learning something new. People take it as agitation. They're like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Shit's hard.
Yep.
Really what adrenaline is scientifically, the guy said, was like, it's actually, the use of it is to get you moving. It's to get you out of stillness. It's a natural reaction from the body to get you moving. So it takes, like, what I'm saying is I'd much rather hire the guy who's passionately, eagerly ready to fucking do whatever.
Yep.
Because his brain is rocking at a level of focus to where he's actually giving himself a chance to learn new things.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's really a huge mindset thing. Like anyone I'm going to hire as we expand, this is our immediate group. You know what I mean? Like we've kind of picked ourselves, like the universe picked it for us. Like,
You're stuck with us, buddy. Sorry.
yeah, but like anyone being added to the group has to bring that level of like, yo, I'll do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like how can I learn? Because even if they're way more qualified, if those people, like if they're in their programmed way of how, and you know, I'd much rather take the guy who's just willing to fucking learn and really eager to like advance himself. You know what I mean? Or herself.
I want to get your thoughts on this though, because I sent you 2 links and one was actually about sleep. The first one was about adults when they're taking on new things and they have to learn new things. It's obviously harder because you're not transmitting those neurons like you were when you were younger. So you have to kind of like tap in a certain way in order to kind of jumpstart your learning. And they said to do that is one by like, you know, getting that adrenaline and like he used like cryotherapy as an example.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like it could be anything.
There were some supplements that Rogan was talking about too.
Yeah, he has a company that I forget what it's called.
They actually
On it?
Yeah, the scientist was like, yes, quite literally, like these
supplements help, yeah.
supplements could in fact, if utilized properly, meaning you have to put the mental focus on it.
Yeah.
But these do in fact aid that process of you becoming a better learner, learning something new.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So in layman's terms, like before you like take on like, 'cause they said you need focus and you need urgency. So urgency is like, you like not do it tomorrow. Like I'm literally doing this now and I'm giving it my full focus. And before you jump into it, they said if you boost your adrenaline, you can actually like jumpstart that focus and it can actually help those neurons transmit. He used cryotherapy as an example, but it could
They
really
even talked about coffee.
it could be coffee and it could
Nicotine.
be nicotine. Yeah. And that's why like you see a lot of artists like they're smoking chain dip in the studio, which has probably been helping.
Nicotine, really?
Probably, yeah. It's been
Everything I've ever done has helped me in the studio.
it's probably been helping you a lot.
Every substance I've ever fucking taken has helped me in the studio. Don't take that the wrong way, but for me personally, like,
Yeah.
you know,
But scientifically, it's because it boosts your adrenaline and then it forces you to focus and it helps with that focus and that urgency when you take on something new. And then
Absolutely.
the second clip, and I want to ask you about this, they talk about how after this process happens, like after you do the adrenaline, you sit and you focus for like hours and hours on this new thing and you learn, the way to retain it the most is to do the opposite and to like turn your brain off and to eliminate all your thoughts for a long period of time. They said sleep, but obviously meditation is the very definition of that. They say if you go about your day and you start stressing about shit, you don't retain all of the shit that you just learned at all.
Why do you think I fucking
all?
After I work?
This is a whole
Or
new.
before I
This is
work?
a whole new angle though, and they specifically said after you do all the learning and all the work when you're retaining new information to just turn your fucking brain off.
And that's why that's why I turn up. And when I sat with Dave Meltzer and he asked me about partying, I was like, I actually value partying as part of the work.
Because you turn your brain off and you eliminate your
I
thoughts.
don't even want to use the word work, and that's Dave Meltzer's thing too. It's not work.
No.
And he says even when it feels like work, don't do that because that triggers your brain. To
We're
look at it as a
we're
task.
talking it as learning right now, and like you're
Right.
learning, you're always learning.
Right.
You're growing
But
as a musician.
I'm learning when I like I turn that side of my brain off when I'm like working and I go and like get faded and just I'm not thinking about
Yeah, fucking amen.
shit
Man.
and I'm just thinking about like girls and fun and beer pong and who's around, whatever.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes I'm like that's when I'm most inspired. I hop right in the studio because like it's that balance. We talk about balance all the time. You know, like or going on these trips when you go hang out in the mountains. Like, it gives you a whole different side where, like, it keeps the other shit fresh. When I do business, I feel like I'm using another side of my brain on that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, bro. Like, that shit's, I couldn't agree more with that. And meditation, of course, is the most literal way of giving your brain a break.
Yep.
Yeah. I value all that shit.
They say this kind of, Lou told me this way back when, whenever. Brushing your teeth with the left hand, open, like, you use a different side of your brain for that.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's like a
Yeah,
different.
we'll just, like, trigger.
Yeah.
It, like, it takes you out of the subconscious.
Yeah.
They say
It takes you out of the subconscious.
They,
Focus way
they said
more
as
on-
simple as just getting out of your bed the other way.
Yeah, it brings you to
Which-
a conscious decision.
Which I don't do, but I should. Like, it's because I get out of
I
my
never
bed.
get out of bed.
I get on my bed the same way every fucking day. But if you start getting out of your bed a different way every day,
I'll
like
try that.
it's the same thing. It's just little things like that like kind
I
of.
think the most
I'm
literal,
on the edge, so I
the
gotta
most
go
literal
on the
first option for you, Kilmer, is just start yanking it on the left side.
Or,
Yeah,
Well, stranger danger.
yeah. I
think
think,
sit on
that
your-
might be your first stepping
Sit
stone.
on your hand for 20 minutes.
I'll
play a
brush
little
my
game of
teeth with
stranger
the
danger.
left, and you go with the yank, and let me know how it goes.
I'll roll out of the bed.
I can literally.
fucking,
Can you
right?
see like my thumb muscles that like this one's just way more puffed up?
Yeah, that's from yanking it.
Yeah. What else do you think it is? You think I'm
Punching
just,
that bag out there?
I
I
broke
saw
my
you
right
punching
thumb.
that.
with
think I'm
mine.
just like magically a construction worker when you guys are hanging out with me and I just hammer with my left hand.
My hand just heals
I
itself.
mean, that's your power hand. You do most with it.
I guess.
You're like holding cameras and fucking,
And my dick.
and your hog.
Dude, people have been thrilled to learn about PMV since the other episode, a couple episodes
Porn
ago.
music video.
a lot of horny
Porn
guys
music
out there.
videos.
Here's our every episode porn mention.
I'm not even
This
trying
has
to
been a
mention
series?
anything
No,
new.
no, it just happens anyway.
I'm just saying, like, dude, rave reviews. Everyone's like, thank you so much for telling me about PMVs.
Are they
I love
loving
them.
it?
And JOYs and PMVs. People are just super thrilled about them. So
I forgot what was it? PMV?
PMV is porn music videos, where like people literally like edit fast-paced porn compilation
Yeah, I
clips
remember now.
to like a song.
That's too much.
It's or just enough. I don't know.
I'm only playing
Or
music.
just enough.
Sex.
Before we get out of here, what's going on in the world? The whole Marlins have coronavirus.
This is very interesting.
How do you? KFC radio had a good explanation of it. I thought it was super funny.
What do you say? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much just shitting on him, and like it makes sense because like the personnel for a baseball team is so much larger than the NBA or the NHL. So like, you can't necessarily do an MLB bubble.
Can't. The games, I'll tell you why though, because the games take so long too.
That too, yeah. It's set up for failure in this current,
Climate.
in this current climate.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what was going on behind the lines with players' contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah. So just from the guys I know talking about it a little bit and just understanding it a bit, essentially the players in the league couldn't get on the same page, and it wasn't that they couldn't get on the same page. It was actually quite literally like business. So the league stalled. The players wanted to get going at a certain point. League was like all about it publicly, but stalled. And like there was like all these like back and forth, and like Trevor Bauer was like going off on him, kind of exposing the whole thing. And really, I think the key to it was like under a certain amount of games played, they pay them half the salary. It saves the league a bunch of money, and they actually have more upside for profit because the end of the year is where they make all their money. They make all their TV money when playoff baseball. It's huge.
So that's why they were stalling.
So they weren't going to not let a season happen because they're going to get that bag, but they didn't want to. They wanted to stall so the players got half of what they would deserve or what they should have been paid for the year.
Yep.
So, and like one of the things that Peter Manfred, I think is his name, is the commissioner, who's like kind of off to a terrible start as a new commissioner. He called the trophy like a piece of metal when they were talking about the Astros thing.
Not great.
Yeah. Essentially, he was kind of saying like, the health of the players is paramount, and kind of was using that as an excuse. But now they're in their wheelhouse. The season has just started, and the players' health are clearly at risk. So how was it really about the players' health? We'll see. Because if he's like, know what, we need to cancel this now and worry about their health, I don't think he's going to do it because it's hundreds of millions of dollars. So it was all bullshit, and it just kind of like reveals that.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Also, off topic, did Marcus get hurt?
Yeah,
What happened to
he
him?
strained his calf. He's fine though. I
Okay.
talked to him. He's in good spirits, and he said it was kind of something that, like he doesn't feel like it'd be a long term thing at all. He can like already. It's just about like going full speed if you had to like jump off the mound and
Yep.
you know what I mean. It's tweaked, but
Yep.
he didn't sound. I didn't like pry about it. We talked for a little bit, but it didn't sound like he was too worried really at all.
Yeah. I mean, I was just worried because, I mean, of course, you remember when he tore his
Oh yeah.
ACL or MCL or
I
whatever.
mean, dude, I always check in on Twitter like a few times a day just to see trends, and I hate seeing his name trending.
Yeah.
So I was out in Utah. I was like, "Fuck!" We were at lunch and I saw it. But
Also, Trevor Bauer had a funny clip of him like pretending to throw the
Yeah.
ball over center field.
he's a legend, bro. He's like,
Yeah.
he's the first baseball player to ever act like he acts. He's like kind of like
He's like an activist
he's
for
like
baseball players.
Yeah, he's like literally trolling like the league. You know what I mean?
Or shit at beer pong, but
Nah, he's good.
He got
No,
pretty
I'm
far.
kidding. No, his
Yeah.
whole fucking.
It's
He's
'cause
pretty good, and
he's
he like.
fun.
I feel like he ruffles everyone's feathers.
Bro, that first game was the funniest shit ever.
Him and Mike.
It was just like I was watching it. I didn't know either of them, and it was just hilarious.
You could see
know,
like
the
certain
banter.
games during the Belina Cup, like who were beer pong guys and who weren't, and they like
Morgan and Hardy were like, they loved it.
They were hilarious, dude.
They were
But that's the
great.
thing, like they weren't beer pong guys, but I mean Hardy had the highest shooting percentage.
No, they were. I would consider them. They were.
They are
play.
beer pong guys.
They play. Yeah. They play a decent
I mean, they
amount.
shot well,
Yeah.
but like especially like Mike Clevenger, fucking, he looks like the fucking man. I never met him, but he looks like the man.
He is
not
the
a,
man.
not a beer pong guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't. It wasn't his
go
best showing. No, he lost first round.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he beat Travis. Oh, I don't even know who played who.
No, Clevenger played Bauer.
Who played Travis? Kelsey.
Travis played. I don't remember.
Oh, Gronk played Travis, right?
No, he played Dansby.
Oh, Dan.
Who played Travis?
Oh, Dan.
Danny Amendola.
Oh, he
Oh,
beat him.
yeah,
Yeah, Amendola
yeah.
beat him first round.
Yeah. Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, that was a fucking great time.
Danny. We gave him the work.
We gave Danny the
Bro,
fucking
that
business.
might have been the quickest 2 games of the whole.
Hey,
fucking-
Danny, if you're listening, sorry for giving me the fucking business, my guy.
I thought it was gonna be kind of hard. It wasn't. It was like maybe 2 minutes.
I mean, we balled out. We balled out that game.
Do you think the NFL's fucked?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna. I think this baseball shit's gonna be very telling.
They got more players in baseball.
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very
Less
telling.
games though, a lot less games.
A lot
but
less games.
but it's, I don't know. If it's one thing I don't want to get canceled, it's the NFL. I mean,
Yeah,
this
no.
this is set up to be like such an exciting season,
Man, it's just like
because of all the change and all the.
this
How many
whole
more
thing is
years
just
can Brady go?
So crazy because
Brady's like 43.
we don't even know. We just,
Gronk got a fucking 95 rating on Madden.
bro. You know they're having. You know, I saw that.
I mean, Gronk's,
What the hell?
You know,
Gronk's a beast.
he is a beast. He's just been injured. But what was I gonna say? You know they're having fucking concerts in the Netherlands already.
They do it the right way.
Yeah, in the Netherlands.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
dude,
Well, I told you Sweden never shut down ever.
this shit in America, like we handled this. I don't care who you think should be the president
We handled
or
it poorly.
whatever side of it you are on.
Yeah.
Take that out of the equation. This has been a fucking train wreck.
Yep.
And we look like such idiots. Like we really, like we quarantine. We couldn't even get on the same page. No one ever got on the same page. And you know what that breeds? The people follow suit. The people follow suit. So they believe in this and they believe in this, and the person they believe is saying this, and the person they believe is saying that. So and then the fucking president's basically calling the president of the CDC like he's a lot. Like there was so much confusion amongst them publicly that like they're the cause of all of this division, and now people are getting in brawls over wearing masks
Yeah.
and like think it's weaponized and politicized, and it's just like, dude, how about we just try to fucking salvage our human life here? And
There's a lot
everyone-
of there's a lot of outside conspiracies too, outside of politics. Like for
I know.
like for instance, like with the hospitals reporting coronavirus deaths.
Yeah.
Like they would get more funding if they had more coronavirus
That's why
deaths.
I say take everything out of this, because I know for a fact both sides are doing it.
Yeah.
Both sides are weaponizing it and politicizing it.
Yeah, it's
So no one's
it's sad-
particularly to blame.
it's sad when you don't know who to turn to or who to.
We need the
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
leader of the free world to be like, I'm not even saying, I personally don't think the role of the president is as important as it's led on to the public. They're the powers that be. They're more or less the face to the show, like the face of the brand. But That's how I see it. I'm not even blaming Donald Trump. I'm just saying, like, to not have zero clarity. Dude, we're a perfect example. We quarantined our fucking dick off. We didn't go anywhere. I didn't go anywhere for like fucking 4 weeks. I didn't leave the house. And then you see everyone, there was no clarity. And I'm looking at people go here and having fun doing this and that. And the fucking people, leaders of the world are telling us it's a hoax. And it's this and it's that. And it's like, dude. So then I'm like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I haven't gone around to old people. And I know for a fact. But I've been around more, like, yeah, it's been in Utah, but we've been around people.
Yep.
We weren't fucking worried about it. You know what I mean?
At this point, everyone's been around
I'm
people.
just as part of the problem as anything else, you could argue. But my point is, you have to lead the masses. The leadership shit the bed on this. And when I say the leadership, I say the entire government. Like the leadership across the board, blue, red, whoever. Like the fact that we couldn't all get on the same page and fucking handle it, like almost everywhere else, is embarrassing. And it's actually just really unfortunate, bro. Like, people are really gonna hurt. This really hurt people. And the fact that it's still lingering is really gonna hurt people even more.
I think they need to like shut down social media. Not now, but when it happened.
But there's so many problems in that too.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I'm on my social media seeing people fucking party all over the fucking place. And I think everybody is. So they feel like they can. And
it's also
like,
how you're informed. But yes.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's double-edged sword. But yeah, I mean, it's just, no matter what, behind closed doors, when you come out to the public, you have to be able to be like, when we leave this room, this is what we're going with. So the masses, so we could fucking get by this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I think
now they're gonna need more they fucked up the economy more, bro. Like, the economy is gonna be fucked because there's gonna be more and more stimulus.
They're already preparing another $1 trillion package.
Yeah, and you know what that's gonna,
to
bro?
give
The
out.
market, like the market, I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna fucking be really ugly.
Well, another thing to look at is that they're putting more money into circulation, which affects
It hurts.
Which affects what's it called? Inflation, exactly. So I mean, that's another thing to look at.
Yeah, bro.
I think it all comes down to if you want to blame anyone, you can just blame Florida. I think that's pretty comfortable.
Everyone feels good with that.
That's been my point of view this entire time. I'm like, well, if Florida was its own country, we'd be good.
You love Florida.
I do. I love Tampa.
You just said you wanted to move to Tampa at lunch.
They opened up. I say it every lunch.
I say that as part of my grace before I eat my meals.
They opened Disney World for some reason, and they said that if Florida was its own country, it would still be the 5th highest coronavirus place in the
It's
world.
a cesspool of coronavirus.
So
I mean, LA is not far behind.
California's doing awful.
no, I know,
right now,
but
dude.
I figure if Florida wasn't part of the United States, statistically we'd be in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
So some of the
California's
food for thought.
atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's just like,
They're talking about shutting down everything out here.
I would love to be able to tour again sometime.
I know,
We
man.
could go to fucking Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I know.
Just do like
Go
100
play
shows
bar.
there.
Go play bar shows.
The weed coffee shops. Oh my god!
I'd be high all day.
Remember we
I'm
went
high
out
all day
there?
anyway.
We were just watching like music videos in one of those.
Now I
coffee
smoke
shops.
way more. I was like, so
Yeah,
high. I
but
was
I
like,
think the weed's super strong out there though.
I don't know.
No,
It's gotta
it
be.
comes down to just smoking strains that you're not used to.
Yeah, no, but I just wasn't a smoker then.
That
was
too.
years ago.
Oh, that's a whole. But if you're like a smoker and like
I'd be
some
good
people are
now.
like, this strain fucks me up more than this
I'm
strain.
smoking big gas right
If
now.
you smoke the same strain for like 3 years, you're gonna get used to that
Probably
strain. You know
bop
what I
over
mean?
to the red light district this time.
Get some Corona over
Who's
there.
that little birdie in the window?
Oh hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Steve here. Sex?
Blow your whole paycheck. All right, I think we're we're good to get out of here. We didn't take a pee break. I know Blue took one 15 minutes in.
He peed himself?
No, he left to go to the bathroom. You didn't see
I
that?
need to pee again. My
I did not
bladder
see
is
that.
like fucking-
I actually genuinely didn't know he
He
left.
got up to pee mid
What
episode.
did you fucking transport over there? How'd
I was
you
gonna
teleport over there?
It's like one of those.
He's
Fucking,
gone for like 8 minutes.
I didn't see you move.
I thought you guys could hear me pee, so I was like, "Fuck." What's
Um,
going on here?
Any final words before we get out of here?
Sex.
Stay safe, guys. Stay
Hey,
safe. What should I say? We have a new song that just came out. Ben Thinking.
Yeah,
It's performing the best ever.
best release of all time.
Yeah, just across the board.
We'd love to see it.
It's interesting. It's dope to see because obviously we're in a transition phase. You know what I mean? Having 2 songs. That was a new name.
Yep.
It's a little, but to have that just means that, we're not we've gotten over the hump of at least like there isn't going to be like a wait, we got to rebuild like the awareness again.
Yeah.
It's ready to go up, you know.
This has got to feel amazing for you, not releasing music for not really releasing music for such a long period of time,
Well, especially the good ones.
and working on these records for like years.
Yeah.
Like been thinking like that's kind of been in the works for over a year, at least.
That's been about a year. I remember.
Yeah, it's probably like
last
10
summer.
months.
Yeah, but then there's other songs that aren't even out yet that have been in the works for multiple years.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it's got to just feel so good to finally put it out.
It does. I mean, it's
Enough.
never as good as you think it's gonna be.
It's
you know?
but like
it's just like
you've probably just been like, do you know what edging means? Back to
Yeah.
the porn conversation.
Yeah, I've been
You know-
edging.
You know what edging is?
Yeah.
It's where you like. It's where like you either like try to bring yourself to completion but stop right before you finish for like a long time, months even. until you-
Months? Oh my god.
well, that's a form of what's it called?
The fuck is that?
that's a
torture.
form of torture.
It's like a not Kama Sutra, but it's like a
A mental thing.
I don't
Who
know.
does that? I want
It's-
to meet him.
They talk about it in American Pie too, which is the
I
only
personally need to snap. I need to snap that thing out of there ASAP.
What are you
no,
talking about?
fuck
Like,
it, fuck it,
you
fuck
get
it.
a nut, like in the middle of fucking, you stop just so you can not.
No, it's
so
like
you don't nut.
it's like a mind state where you can like control your orgasms mentally.
I'm almost there.
Honestly,
What's
I
it?
was just gonna
What,
say,
what the fuck is it called?
I can control my orgasm pretty damn good.
I mean, if I'm hanging out with a chick for a while,
Sting,
and it's built up.
you know the singer, Sting from the band Police, Sting.
Yeah.
He does it. He practices it. Like him and his wife just do fucking like wild shit. But it's
They're probably on a wave.
that'll be another episode because I got to do research. I gotta find some links.
Remember
probably
Alex
try
the
to
light
wave.
guy? He said he used to like fuck his girl and like just leave his D in there all night, like sleeping there.
There's a name for that.
That's-
Actually, the Mormons were out. I was just talking to Mormons about this.
That seems
These girls-
so
These
unsanitary.
girls were talking about it. How like you
So
don't.
unsanitary. Just
Bro,
just in case you didn't think you got gonorrhea, just to fully make sure.
And you just
I'm
wake-
just, I'm just gonna
No,
leave
no.
my dick in you for 8 hours.
Mormons do this when they can't have sex, but they're like it will be like their how like kids kind of rebel, but they don't really have sex. They'll put it in and just chill. And there's a name for it. I was losing it. I was like, we had a day party. Like we had been up all night, still partying. These Mormons come over. Well, they weren't Mormons really. No, they weren't Mormons, but like they were in a Mormon neighborhood.
We
or
call
something.
that the looky loo.
Alex
There
the
was a
light
dope
guy.
name for it. They had a crazy name. Someone listening will tell me.
Alex the light guy comes
was-
up once again.
He's a legend.
You
man.
gotta do the
So
same.
it's not sex if you don't thrust.
Yeah, like they don't come and like they're not like fucking. Like they put it in and they just kick it.
How do they have the patience?
That's just hard, right? I would do it if
yeah,
I was
it would be
Mormon,
hard.
but
Man, I toss and turn so much. I end up fucking her by accident.
They're doing somersaults in there.
No, I move around. I flip my pillow a million times. Like I can't.
I would just move her around with me. Like if I wanted to turn over, I'd be like,
I'm doing the cha-cha slide in there.
just keep it in, get over here.
How is that
You
like
guys know the cha-cha slide?
Yeah.
position? All right,
To the
tonight.
left.
You ever
How's
you ever
that?
Crisscross.
doing the Charlie Brown?
But what is the conversation like before this happens? All right, should I just leave it in all
do you
night,
mean?
or should I? What do you want me to do?
What do you mean? Think about it. It's like having a girl and you like can't.
All right,
course.
so all right, we're gonna put it in for 12 hours.
I get it. Though.
It's like putting in the microwave.
oh, they called it. It was something like that. They like called it like cooking, like
The oven, the hot
the
oven.
oven or something.
Toaster?
It was something like that though. It really was. Someone. I'll find out. I'll figure it out.
Heat it up for 8 hours tonight.
Fucking what
Hey,
type of?
hey, marinate. You gotta marinate that
What
thing.
if like one
Oh
wakes
my
up
God.
before the other? She just like
Slide off.
slowly slides off.
That sounds horrible.
Slide to the left.
Crisscross.
I mean, event.
Everybody.
I feel like you can get pregnant that way. No,
yeah, pre-com.
there's definitely a bunch of pre-cum going on.
All right.
On that note,
We love you guys.
I'm starving. I gotta get out of here.
All right.
Speaking of pre-com, see you later.